Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte, and today we are going to be doing something really good today. I mean something really good and something really new. Now with that said, I am just going to be building a cool new house with some covert items. And we have been building some new houses for a while now, so that gets pretty complacent pretty fast. But right now we are building something new with these deleted items that I have gotten my hands on. So please take notes with everything that I am going to be doing today. So just make sure that whatever I am doing right now will be something that you can learn a thing or two from, and then we can go on and go out and about so that we can actually finish this thing today. And Chip is helping me, so we should be done rather quick right now. Now you can see that we are using like a lot of lighter wood and light colors, and we will use some new items and that kind of stuff because I really feel like that is something that fits with the theme right now. So a modern house, in my opinion and in my mind, is just something light, like a wood color like this, and a lot of angles. I mean a buttload of angles, because that really makes it feel new and refreshing to me. This might become a little annoying though, because it will be taking a lot of work to get finished. Now of course we all know that sometimes we get annoyed in this game, right? I mean, we all have our differences, and usually they are only short lasting and they never really get that much out of hand, right? Well, today is the day that I snapped. I am just done with it right now. Again and again I keep having these people finding out where I live, and it is just driving me nuts. Now I have already tried training them in order to make them respect me and know a thing or two about the game. Now that did not work at all, because that literally just blew up in my face. Then I have gone the complete other way around, and I just started planting traps everywhere, which again just ended up blowing up in my face, taking my house with them. Then I give the training another shot, which did not work at all. And then after that everything got pretty calm again. But then people started stealing out of my chest, and that is when I went into full defense mode again, and I started hiding the chests that I own just so that people cannot get to them. I mean, a lot of stupid stuff has happened throughout the last couple of weeks, but you know, I guess that this is just my life right now. Even though I must confess that the things that we have been doing the last week are pretty okay. I mean, there were no sightings of random people who tried to mess with me or anything like that, so that is something that I really do appreciate right now. Now that does not mean that everything is over and said and done and all of that, because it is not. I can feel that a war is coming. I am just not sure about the timing of said war. It might be coming soon, but it might not. Right now I cannot give a clear answer on that. But what is necessary for me and my morale right now is that we get this house done. I mean, just look at how good we are doing with this house right now. So just take a look. And by the way, I hope that you are paying close attention, because I am not going to show you this again. But once we are done with this house, I will have a new and cool little house for Chip and myself to live in. And of course you guys too, and you get to see some new items. That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will all work out in one go this time. So let's hope so. This is going to be hard, but it is just something that I will have to cope with until everything right here has all been sorted out. And I can tell you that when the day comes, I am going to be celebrating so hard that it actually is pretty insane to myself. I mean, I am going to be excited like crazy once I am all done with this thing, because I just think that after all this time that I just deserve a little break from everything right now. I mean, we have been through a lot the last couple of months. As you may remember, the fact that Christmas ended was just a really big setback for me, because I just love working under the spell of Christmas and underneath the spell of the mistletoe. So to not have that anymore is just a big blow for me personally. But I had to get through that, and I did get through that quite successfully. But that was the point where all of the noobs came tagging along and starting invading all of my personal space. And I know that all of this sounds really familiar and stuff, and to be honest, The last couple of months I have just been a broken record running over and over and over again. So I am just going to be hoping that this modern approach to my house actually works. Otherwise, like I just said, I am going to be real cool man. Okay, maybe not a cool man because it is not like the houses are that cool, but I am just going to be making sure that once I get this done that I am going to go right back to bed for like a week, because right now I actually am kind of a dead man when it comes to this. I mean, there is no such thing as getting too much sleep for me right now, because right now it just feels like I am not even doing anything anymore. All day long I am just roaming around my house and stuff without a thought, and I am just so tired that I have got no idea what to go do. But then when I think that I might be able to go to bed, and the second that my head hits my pillowcase, there is another person at my door and I have got to get up again to be able to defend the fort. I mean, there is not worse feeling than this, but all of that will soon come to an end because I actually feel confident about this right now, and so does Chip. Right, buddy? But however I might be feeling about this modern fortress of mine that I am building, it will still take a lot of time before I am actually done with this thing because there is just so much work to do right now. Maybe I should hire some people to come and work for me and build this thing for me. Oh wait, never mind, I am cool right now and that is not what I should do, because I am trying to keep the people out of this Minecraft realm. And of course if they were to be the ones who build this thing, then they would be finding out where I would live, or I should pack it up and move it somewhere else. But I will not go and do that because that looks like just a little bit too much of a hassle, which is not what I am looking for right now, because if I have got to work even more on this thing I will probably end up losing my mind over it, which is not what I am looking for right now. So I am just going to go ahead and get this all over with so that I can actually get some stuff done instead of trying to be a builder and a talker at the same time, because my words will not feed my mouth right now, or ever actually. But then again, why not, right? I mean, my words are actually filling my mouth, but that just sounds weird, so I am just going to cut that off right there and start talking about something else like nothing ever happened right here. My god, I can be so awkward at times for some reason. So next thing that is up on my little short list of things that you should be applying to your house when you really want this to have a refreshing feel to it, and it might sound a little weird, I might get that, but just hear me out, alright? So first thing first will be windows. A lot of these houses are filled with windows because it just looks really futuristic, and I really like that as well. But I am moving some stuff outside because it is better. Plus it is going to give you some sunlight that will shine right into your house, which of course is cool as well. I mean, who would not want that, right? But second of all is the color. White is always going to be your go-to color when it comes to building a nice house. And try these removed items and stuff when you want to add some color or flair or something like that, should be cool. I am just thinking out loud right now, so just bear with me so that we can actually get done with some stuff right here, because otherwise we are still going to be building on this thing for the better part of a year or something like that. But to be honest, that is just an educated guess on my end of the spectrum. But let's continue with what I was saying a minute ago, and I was talking about building a modern cool house, because this is something that I think is really awesome, because the modern house is by far my favorite one out of all of the styles that you have got around here today, which is not that good now that I start thinking about it. It is actually smart that I think about this kind of stuff right now before I start doing them in the first place, but still that would be pretty cool. At least that is what I think. I mean, no one is going to expect a thing right now, and that is exactly what I want with this right here. So no one will ever be able to go and start stealing some of my ideas again, which is good, so that I do not have go out and make more stuff over and over and over and over again, like I always have to do. So alright, if I may say so myself, I think that the house of removed stuff, aka the almost removed house, is coming along pretty nicely. Of course we are just setting up the walls and stuff right now, but like Donald Trump says, there is nothing better than a wall. Okay, he did not really say that, but just let me have a moment here, okay? But yeah, even though we are still building the walls so that everything is sturdy in here, it is actually looking pretty nice. But alright, also decoration is low-key, just high-key right now, so get going on that as well. Just light this bad boy up with like vines and all that kind of stuff. Just whatever you think will fit into this thing, because ultimately it will become your house and maybe one day even your home. And you know how I feel about building a home rather than a house, because a house is just that, a house. It is 4 walls and a roof. But a home is so much more than that. I mean, it still is 4 walls and a roof. But right now it also is filled with love, like a real home should be filled with. In my opinion, of course. To be honest, building this home with these new items right now also makes me feel at home for some reason. And because I always used to make these things a couple of years back when I was just playing on my own instead of with you guys. But you know, that might actually just be me rambling, to be honest. Who knows actually? I just know that it feels good to be making this thing right now. But of course I am going to keep feeling this feeling of being home and this feeling of nostalgia. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia. And I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And that is really something that I long for right now. Even though all of this has nothing to do with the modern house tutorial, I just feel like sometimes it is just good to talk about things like this, because you could just build this house right here, and it would not feel like home. That would be a bad thing, I guess. So alright, as you may have seen right there, the walls are done, and this wall is going to allow me to just stay with it, and it will not let anyone else in. So that is really cool. And of course no one will notice that this thing is there, because like I said, no one is going to just be running into a wall without knowing that there is something up with that thing. That is why the wall/pillar on that train station in London works that well. I mean, who is going to suspect some random wall for something like that? I mean, no one is just going to take their cart and run into a pillar like that. So I mean, all of those people that work in the wizarding world have got all of their secret and magic stuff figured out really well. But now I am just going to have to perform the same trick, because otherwise I am still going to be eating cake for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Even though that is for beginners, you do not even know. That was a quote from a song by Donald Glover, aka the Childish Gambino, and he is a cool guy. Again, not that this makes any sense right here now, but alright guys, let me tell you a story about how I got into Minecraft in the first place, and what makes these items so cool. So like the first time in Minecraft in like ever, and it was because of Doc Oswald, as you might be able to figure out for yourself. And I bet that you are already sitting there like, what did Dr. Oswald do this time to get you inside of this prison again? Well, it is a pretty lengthy story, but I will try to crop it down a little so that I do not bore you guys, and neither bore myself. So basically the doc, he just asked me if I was able to drop by his labs one day, and of course I am a great friend and I did just that. Well, like I said a couple of months ago, I was not going to be doing any more tests for the doctor just because he always screws things up. Well, this time, I just sat down in his little office chair. Then it just activated this chain reaction where I rolled backwards, pretty much like the dude from Futurama, and I fell into this little machine that put me into the simulation. But that was not all. I was just there because I forgot some stuff in my lockers at the doc's office. So basically, if I was not such a mess and I would have just taken all of my stuff with me when I left there last week, then I would not have this problem right now. So beware if you leave your stuff behind somewhere. I am not saying that you will actually end up inside of some shady prison simulation, but I am also not saying that this will not happen to you. I mean, things like these seem to happen to me all the time. So I guess why should it not be able to happen to you? But I would never wish anything like this to you guys, because these kind of simulations, well, they are just really annoying. And I think that most of you guys will agree with me on this fact, because you have seen me go through these kinds of simulations all the time. And you guys also know that I was actually fed up with them, since I decided to quit with these things for good. So please stick with me as I wait for the doc to actually get me out of this thing again before it actually fries my brain. But this time of course I did not end in just a simulation, not it was a literal simulated reality world. Now we are basically done so that I can test to see if this base is fully operational. Yes, I just quoted Star Wars. What are you going to do about it? That is right, there is nothing that you can do about it, because right now SubZeroExtabyte is a free man. Of course that means if there will be no visitors coming around right now, because then he would have been able to hear my entire plan and I would be screwed either way. But of course that does not matter right now. So just like I said, there is going to be a lot changing around here. Since I cannot just go out and about anymore, and I will have to stick close to my house because otherwise there will be a lot going on throughout my days. But I will make sure that I can still do whatever is necessary to make these videos for you guys. Even if it means that I am going to be making a video that is just me sitting in a chair by some fireplace in a red kimono with some kind of a pipe and a newspaper. Yeah, just imagine me sitting like that. But with all of that said, it is time for me to move on with this and to not get distracted anymore. So I am closing the video right now. I still hope that you have enjoyed this as much as ever, and I would love to see you guys in the next video.